Hi friends, log on to my website fastbeam.com and talk to me on the forums. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram.
Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga, the second generation model. Yes, there's a slightly different key. It gets this purple finish over here ahead where the Suzuki logo is there. The key is similar to the one on other Maruti cars as well. Now straight away let's get into the engine bay. Now this is the petrol and it's a new unit. As you can see, there's a lot of space in the engine bay, and yeah, they have done insulation over here as well, which is usually not the case when we talk about petrol cars. It says, notice this vehicle uses special battery, only use battery type approved by the vehicle manufacturer for this vehicle. For more details, refer owner's manual. Because it uses the second generation SHVS technology or the smart hybrid system like Suzuki calls it. Anyways, as you can see at the front, it looks bold. The lights will definitely remind you of the Innova Krista. Just look at these lights, okay? Very Innova Krista like. It gets a projector setup, and you know what? This projector setup light is standard across the range. Even the lower L variants get this projector setup light, which is nice, but this is yellow color, not white. These are not HIDs obviously, and as you can see, the light merges with the grille, something similar to what we see in BMW cars. This is a smiley over here, and this gets this chrome studded grille, which is very similar to the one which we see on the 2018 Mahindra XUV 500. And there is the fog light placed over here, an L shape over here as well. And the bonnet has been raised on this vehicle. In fact, it is bigger in every possible dimension. So it is wider by 40 mm, it's longer by 99 mm, and it is taller by 5 mm. You can see that it gets this bold line running over here. Chrome door handles, yes, obviously, which merges with the tail light. Now, from the side, the car looks really nice, but it's kind of long. Look at the wheelbase, it's massive. But the only gripe I have are with the wheels. Now these are small wheels for a car of this size. These are 15 inches, and the design of the alloys could have been better. 185/65 15s running on the Ertiga. Now the lower variants do not get alloys, obviously. Let me quickly do a walk around of this vehicle to show you the design language. From the side, it might remind you of the Mobilio as well as the BRV. Certain chunks actually. It gets this floating roof, okay? Because of the treatment over here, it actually gives a floating roof appearance, which is kind of nice. But at the rear, you will be reminded of a lot of cars. Now it gets a split tail light, and it gets this L shape as well. Now this might remind you of the Honda Jazz, the Honda CR-V, and a lot of Volvo cars as well, such as the Volvo XC90, and obviously also of the Skoda Kodiaq. Now it gets chrome lining over here, smart hybrid badging over here. And yes, the front and the rear both have been revised massively on this vehicle. It looks fresh, it looks nice, it looks different for sure. No denying that fact. Let's quickly open the boot right away. So here is the boot of this vehicle. Now it's decent size even when all the three rows are up. So you can keep a couple of bags, and guess what? There's storage space below as well. Yeah, that's right. There's good amount of storage space over here. Yeah, to keep nicks and knacks. And this seat can be pushed forward and folded flat as well, 50/50. And look at the storage space, it is a lot. Still not satisfied? Well, let me get inside. Press this button, and you can also fold this seat completely. Yeah, let's try that from the front. But you know what, once that happens, there's a lot more space inside the cabin. But then it becomes a two-seater. Doesn't make sense. Let's just cut all this out in edit and just redo all this, because who wants to buy a two-seater MPV? Well, to carry a lot of luggage, na? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The third row reclines as well. Yeah, these are reclining seats, which is a nice touch, definitely. But with the recline there, boot capacity reduces slightly. Let's quickly close this. Now, over here in the second row, so you know, it's easy to move it around. This also reclines, and it reclines a lot. So all you need to do is either press this button over here. There's a lever over here to increase or decrease the legroom. In fact, minimum legroom is 0 when you push it all the way ahead, but I don't think anyone would do that, because why would you want to increase the legroom in the third row by giving 0 legroom in the second row? That doesn't make sense, right? Now, in order to increase space, just press this button, and there it goes. Push it forward. There, it increases the space, which is kind of nice. Meanwhile, this is how you fold the seat. So I was doing it wrong right now, and when the seats are folded, it gives you a 60-40 split over here, 50-50 split over there. Let's push this up, And first let me get inside. Actually, let me position it in a way wherein people can actually sit in the second row. So this is the maximum legroom in the center. Let's push it a little ahead to increase legroom at the third row. So let me get inside from the other side, and here we go. So getting in isn't a problem at all. Here we are. You can see there's a charging socket over here, power socket. There's a cup holder over here. There's a cup holder over here as well, bottle holder, whatever you want to call it. And the window area isn't too bad either. There is a handle over here, seat belts, not adjustable for height, and adjustable headrest, 2 adjustable headrests in the third row. Now look at this, okay? I would say that a kid can comfortably fit in over here, but legroom isn't much, neither is knee room. However, under thigh support is also very lacking because the seat is placed in such a way that under thigh support is quite lacking. In fact, it's closer to your chest. So this is actually the legroom on offer if you want to practically seat people in the second row of this vehicle. Now, if I want to get out from here, all I need to do is press this button, and here you go, push it forward. So that's convenient to get in and out, but it still takes some effort getting in and out from this vehicle. Yeah, because of the height probably. Anyways, let me put the seat back in its position. So there we are, all the way behind. Same here, pushing it there, all the way behind. And let's quickly close the door. Now the door is massive size. Look at the size of the door. Look at the size of the window at the rear. That's massive. I mean, this is something like the Mobilio. In fact, probably bigger than the Mobilio. Gives a lot of airy feeling inside the cabin. And this is obviously to, you know, push or pull the door to close. But you can also keep coins over here. Bottle holders, massive 1 liter bottle, magazine holder here as well. You can keep paper and stuff like that. And let me quickly sit in the second row right now. So as you can see, there's good amount of legroom as well as knee room, and under thigh support is also decent enough because the seat is long over here. Meanwhile, there's a magazine holder over here. This is not really a scooped out seat back. Good amount of headroom here as well. There's a handle over here, there's a handle over here, there's a light placed over here, and it only gets 2 headrests over here. No center headrest, but you get a center armrest, but there are no cup holders over here. Now I can recline this seat, and that makes it even more comfortable. So let me recline it in both the sides. There you go. That's a lot of recline. Just look at the kind of recline. You can see how much the armrest is raised right now with the recline happening. But honestly, this is more than you will ever need to travel comfortably. So definitely a big thumbs up to the second row. Good amount of space and a lot of airy feeling. In fact, because of the roof being finished in beige, as well as the seat, as well as the door pads, it kind of looks very airy, this car. I mean, I would love to travel in this vehicle in the second row. That's how good it is. There's a power socket placed over here, and there's space to keep stuff here as well, basically to keep your smartphone there. Yeah, that's again a very nice touch. Now let's quickly get into the first row, and it's a long walk. Yeah, the car is kind of long. So it gets passive entry, and it also gets a push button start over here. Now, as you can see, there is a dead pedal placed over there. This is to open the engine bay. There's a storage space over here to keep your coins, and this is the button to turn on or off the start stop system. This is for traction control. This is for headlight leveling. Front door pockets are large enough, and these controls have been carried over from older Maruti cars. This is the control for the power windows. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror, and the front seats are also very nice and comfortable. They're quite supportive too, so headroom isn't a problem over here as well. Now this flat bottom steering wheel is similar to the one which we see in the Swift as well as the Desire. The horn isn't that great, and as you can see, there's some amount of resemblance to the Innova's dashboard, the way it flows. Meanwhile, this continuous AC vents treatment is very similar to the ones which we see in Audi cars. Now you get multiple layers here. So over here, it's sort of a grey treatment. Meanwhile, you get a wood treatment over here, and over here we get the beige treatment. Overall quality is decent, but there are a lot of hard plastics placed over here. It gets a climate control air conditioning. This is the hazard light switch. This is the immobilizer light, and it gets a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which Maruti likes to call as the Smart Play. It gets Apple CarPlay, it gets Android Auto connectivity, and it also gets navigation. It gets a reverse parking camera as well. Now this car doesn't get a reverse parking camera because you don't get the plus trim in the automatic. So it does with a smaller display, which is not getting any touch as such. However, the problem is that they still use the bigger bigger enclosure for it, so it kind of looks like, okay, you got the touchscreen, but it doesn't have the touchscreen, which is kind of disappointing. But it gets reverse parking sensors, which is available in this variant, and obviously in the top variant with reverse parking camera as well. Steering mounted audio controls, steering mounted telephone controls, and overall the cabin does feel nice and airy. You get a ticket holder over here, meanwhile you get a mirror over here, and these are the lights for the front. It doesn't get auto dimming inside rear view mirror, and you can see the blower over here in the rear. Oh freak, I forgot to talk about it, I'm so stupid. Anyways, so many might think this is an air conditioning. Well, this is not an air conditioning. There are 4 vents over here. This is not for the AC, this is basically for the fan. Yeah, that's right, this is basically for the fan. It doesn't get a rear AC, but it gets a rear fan as such, which kind of pulls air from over here, which I'll just show you right now. So here we go. As you can see, okay, it pulls air from over here, and it is very effective as well. Now, adjustable seat belt height, that's again a very nice touch. And because this car complies with the upcoming safety norms, it gets seatbelt reminders for both the front seats. It gets a speed alarm at 80 kilometers per hour where one beep happens, and after 120 kilometers per hour there's a continuous beep which is happening. You can see the instrument cluster is a nice looking unit, and you get this nice multi-information display here as well, which is similar to the one in the Baleno. So here we go, changing this. As you can see, it will tell you how much is the charge on the battery, and a lot of features. What is the average fuel economy right now, what's the range, and basically real-time mileage is there, driving time, what is the speed, how much time did the start stop system actually work for, and how much fuel it saves. It says 52 ml right now. That's not a lot. Okay, this is the clock, and it also gets a G-force meter. That's a nice touch. Now this is telling you how much power and torque is being used in real time. That's again a very nice touch. It won't rev beyond 4000 rpm in parking or even in neutral for the case. And as you can see, telltale lights are placed on the top. It will tell you the gear position over here. This is the trip meter, and on the left we get the tachometer with the temperature meter inside. On the right we get the speedometer with the fuel meter inside, and this is actually to trip this particular meter. Keep it pressed and it will trip it over here. There you go. So as you can see, the cabin is a really nice place. In fact, it's quite practical as well. The glove box is decent size. It's not really the biggest, I would say. And over here you get space to keep your mobile phone. There's a power socket over here, there's a USB and aux port over here, and this is actually a cooled bottle holder. Actually, you can keep 2 bottles over here, and you can decide if you want the cooling effect. Yes, that's right, it cools it over here as well. So over here you really can't keep much stuff. This is the handbrake, this is the gear lever, and there is a small armrest. You can slide it forward or behind. You can open this, and there is small space as well to keep stuff. It's not really large, but it's decent size, I would say. Meanwhile, the audio quality is decent in this car. Let's quickly listen to an audio track right away. As you heard, the audio quality is decent. It also gets Bluetooth connectivity, which is a nice touch. And overall feel of the cabin is really nice. You sit high and there's a good view of what's around as well. Not many blind spots in this car. However, it misses out on automatic headlights, which is there in the Swift. It also misses out on automatic wipers, which is there in both the S-Cross as well as the Ciaz. So it could have done with slightly more features. Now, these are the controls for the wipers. It gets a rear wiper as well. And as you can see, both nozzles throw 3 sprays each and cleans the windscreen very nicely as well. Now these are actually the controls for the headlights, and the lights are decently powerful at night as well. So as you can see, the cabin has a lot of features. It's very well loaded, a lot more space than before. In fact, the front row is now wider by 50 mm. Meanwhile, the seat is wider by 21 mm in the second row, and it is wider by 34 mm in the last row. In fact, in the last row there's an additional 70 mm of legroom as well. So definitely more practical, but let's get driving. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and oh, we're already off actually. So this is the petrol engine. It redlines just under 6,000 rpm. This is the petrol automatic. The petrol manual actually redlines at a slightly higher rpm, so it's a very brisk performer. Now this is the same 1.5 liter engine which also made its debut in the Ciaz, and it produces 103 horsepower and 138 newton meters of torque. It's a very refined engine, has good amount of low end punch, and overall performance is very linear. It builds all its power in a very gradual manner. In fact, mid range is also decent, but in the top end it absolutely screams to the red line. and it becomes very vocal as well. So in terms of performance, it's very nice, but being the automatic, an old school unit, a 4-speed torque converter, it's not very fast with shifts, and you also do not get any manual control on the gearbox. So it's going to shift gears according to its own whims and fancies. In fact, you can get into lower gears because there are two modes for the same. One is L and the other is 2. Basically, it restricts itself to lower gears, which is good for driving in the hills. However, there's no Tiptronic function, there are no paddle shifters naturally, and thus, you have to rely on the gearbox to do the shifts. In terms of performance, it does have good amount of punch, and definitely this engine feels much better than the older unit in the older Ertiga. Now, this is known as the K15B. Yes, the K15B, and okay, you can hear it. It becomes very vocal. It is indeed very vocal. Being a Japanese engine, it has to be vocal, and it has to tell you that, okay, now I am making some progress or the other. Alright, traction control not working, left foot on the brake, right. Little bit of wheel spin, and here we are off. Now this uses the same 5th generation hardtech platform as the new Swift as well as the Desire, and as expected, it feels kind of light to drive. Now, being a monocoque chassis MPV and having front wheel drive, it is such an easy car to drive. The steering is also very light and easy to twirl. So light steering is always a boon in terms of driving in the city, but it just doesn't weigh up at high speeds. So in terms of feel and feedback, the steering is quite lacking, and when you push this car around corner, yes, there's some amount of body roll, but for an MPV, body roll is quite well contained as well, and yes, it is an easy car to drive, easy car to park as well. So in terms of that, Maruti has kind of nailed it, and the most important thing is the ride quality of this vehicle. It is nothing short of being phenomenal. I mean, it absorbs almost everything in its stride. It is so smooth over bad roads. It's only that the rear suspension feels slightly bouncy over bad roads at higher speeds, but in terms of high speed stability too, it is a very good car. And the brakes also offer good stopping power. They're sure-footed, although rear discs were expected in an all-new generation of an MPV here in 2018. Maruti is offering dual airbags as well as ABS across all the variants, and there are 10 variants on offer, 4 for the petrol manual, 4 for the diesel manual, and 2 for the petrol automatic. And the price range starts at 8.7 lakhs for the base variant, which happens to be the petrol manual, and goes all the way to 13.14 lakhs for the top of the line diesel manual. Unfortunately, there is no diesel automatic. In fact, this car isn't even available with a CNG, which was very popular in the first generation of the Ertiga, but due to the SHVS technology, which is kind of complicated, they're going to take some time to bring it to market, which is definitely going to come as soon as next year. And the SHVS technology in this car is the 2nd generation, at least in the petrol, which happens to get a lithium ion battery. Actually, there are 2 batteries. One is the traditional battery and the other is the lithium ion battery. What it does is basically it has regenerative braking. When you apply brakes, it's actually charging the alternator, something which we have been seeing in BMW cars since quite some time now, but it coming to a mass market car is definitely a good thing. It also aids in increasing the fuel efficiency of this vehicle. This particular car returns a mileage between 10 to 12 kilometers per liter, which is decent, and that's not all. It also has torque assist. Basically, it will give you slight amount of better acceleration thanks to the SHVS technology. Plus, it also has something known as idle start stop. What that does is basically when you come to a halt, it will turn off the car and it will turn it on as soon as you get on the clutch or leave the brake pedal in terms of automatic, and that basically saves fuel. So should you buy a Maruti Ertiga? Now that's a good question, because the first generation Ertiga was positioned in such a way that it was appealing to a larger segment of the audience, because not everybody could afford an Innova, and the Innova had lesser mileage, was slightly cumbersome to drive as well. But with the 2nd generation model, what they have done is they have improved it on almost every possible front. Not only is the car bigger in every dimension, it also drives better, has a good ride quality as well, and the engines are improved as well. Not the diesel. Diesel is the same always in Maruti cars, 1.3 liter DDIS for life, forever. That's not going to change anytime soon, but yeah, with BS6 it will. But that said, this is a car which actually serves the family purpose very well. It is a people mover, and right now there is no competition at all. If you want an MPV which is attractively priced, has a ton of features, and is also easy to service, then look no further than the Maruti Ertiga. Yes, the high variants might sound a bit pricey, but you get a lot for your money. Although I expected those 3 features which I've already mentioned, this and this. Basically, this is for the auto dimming inside rear view mirror, this is for the automatic headlights, and this is for the automatic wiper. What do you think about this vehicle? Do you think Maruti should launch something known as the Ertiga RS? So when you go driving through the ghats, everyone in the car, your family members, your friends, and everybody keeps puking all over the place. Well, jokes aside, that's it for me from now. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.